Greetings, everybody. It's Jim. I have a solo adventure to go over for you today, and it is one of the 3 books you get in the Isle of Cedric Kickstarter. It is ending right now. Get over there. Link is down below, and it has already met goal. So it's one of 3 books. One of the books that I already went. Well, one of them is the source book itself, the Isle of Cedra, and then another regular adventure is a Scorpion Labyrinth, which I already went over in another video just recently. Check the link for that one. But if you haven't gotten off of your Tookus yet, to go being on the fence about whether you should get this or not, I think I might be able to push you off that fence today. So today I'm going to be talking to you about why you should be playing Monster Hunter Belladonna, the solo adventure by David Pulver for Gaming Ballistic for the Fantasy Trip role-playing game. Alright, I want to show you this map here, and it's written and drawn by Glenn Seal from Monkey Blood Design. They're working with Gaming Ballistic, and that's really cool. It's a nice practical map. It's beautiful enough, but not overly fiddly with the details. Nice and practical. One of the things I really do like about this, though, is it absolutely shows in complete accuracy what's going on in the game. And I don't just mean locations, okay, because you see them all there. All those are locations in the adventure. But the thing is, they are exactly 1 day apart from each other in days of travel, which I found pretty interesting because I always took that as an abstract. Because, you know, that when you're playing solo games, most of the time you are doing abstract stuff. You're not exactly mapping out distances because they don't tell you. You're actually mapping out encounters and locations, correct? Right? So here's my map of the adventures that, as I gone through Belladonna, and I'm not spoiling anything because the map's right there for you to see as it is. Now mind you, that map goes to the Isle of Cedra source book. It's not in the Monster Hunter Belladonna book, but it's just as well. So if you want to remember to get somewhere, however, if you want to keep your mapping skills up, you can use this. I use this. This is called De Morte, by the way. It's by Shadekeep. The link will be down below. They also have a beautiful map maker that I do believe that they use for in the Fantasy Trip hexagram, little books. If they need to make a map, that's where they make it out of. So check out Shadekeep for that. Link is down below. But anyway, yeah, that's how mapping would go. It would just go by distances, and he would say, "Oh, it's a day away," is what I thought. Here, it's actually quite literal. Everybody's about 2 squares away, maybe 3, and I do really like that accuracy a lot. One of the most important things I can say about Monster Hunter Belladonna is that there are so many throwbacks to older adventures. And David Pulver's written so many that it was inevitable that he was going to be able to tie a lot of them together, which is the whole idea of the Isle of Cedra in the first place. It's basically all his work, and he's just connecting the dots. I don't think everything's going to connect to everything, but I do believe that this is going to be the first of more adventures to happen, which will combine another 1 or 2 adventures of the past. So I really think that's exciting. Now, will this include any of the other modules is it all Gaming Ballistic stuff? Or is it, like Christopher Rice's modules with Jacques Cervantes and, that treasure hunter guy? Or is that going to be its own thing? Maybe that will be its own campaign setting. Or is it going to be combined into this one? Well, time will tell. We'll find out. But I really look forward to either way. Now, when it comes to solos that David Pulver makes, there always is a theme involved, and this is no exception with Monster Hunter Belladonna. For instance, like what I mean is like Dragon Hunt that he wrote. It's all about slaying dragons, but not every encounter really has a dragon in it. It's kind of dragon flavored in some way. There's a theme involved, but you're not encountering dragons at every turn, right? And same thing with Vampire Hunter Belladonna, the prequel to this. You're going around. You're going to be staking some vampires sooner or later, but everything else is just flavored to vampires in some way. They're talking about it or whatever. Monster Hunter Belladonna, however, is a little bit more straightforward. I can't give away what that theme exactly is because there's so many monsters in the Fantasy Trip. It's not just one specific one, but there is a theme involved, and I can't give it away without spoiling it. You'll find out for yourself, but that's part of the fun here because unlike the other ones which tell you exactly what the theme is, Monster Hunter Belladonna just doesn't. Now, Monster Hunter Belladonna gets a little bit of an upgrade from her Vampire Hunter days because she gets two Bone Maid Servants retainers this time around to help take some slack up. And it's done more than just because she's going to go up against powerful things. It's also to make combat more interesting. At least that's what I think. I mean, the thing about solo adventures, I like saying I like programmed adventures. And maybe solitaire play, but solo adventures, I like those generally for the days of the game books, you know, like the Lone Wolf series, the Choose Your Own Adventures, where you don't have a whole spread of a map sheet encounters. You know, you're at school or something like that, and you're just playing it out. That's fine there. But generally, if you are going to have the map out, you are going to have counters, expecting some big battles. One-on-one battles are actually quite boring, in my opinion. Even the fantasy trip can't get away with just the back and forth nature of what those can be like. One of the only adventures that I've seen that really do good with just one person is Warlock's Workshop by Stephen Dedman. And this has nothing to do with the combats because that's still the same problem, but because of the fact that he actually made things that one person would have to worry about. For instance, like, do you have a light source like a torch, or how much weight are you carrying? That matters in the Warlock's Workshop a lot. And it matters more because it is a solo adventure where you do only have one character. While if you have those problems with four characters like a regular party, well, somebody's going to have a light source, and it's not that much of a disadvantage because you got three other guys to work up the slack. However, with a solo adventure, it is definitely much more prominent to worry about. Now, Monster Hunter Belladonna is also a resource management adventure. Now, this is more than just encumbrance and rations and water, or even how many days you've got to get back to Castle Ironskull, which, by the way, is 42 days, about 6 weeks. You got to get through the adventure and make it back. But it is also about weapon poison management, because the thing about Belladonna, she's a small little thing, but she likes throwing stars and daggers and such, and they're all coated with weapon poison. So weapon poison, if it gets through the armor and it does a hit, it does 3 dice extra damage, and that's huge significant, especially when you're going up against some of these monsters, right? The thing is, though, this is still the fantasy trip, and you can't go around saying, well, I'll save that for the big guys, because you're going to be in combat, and you know as well as I do that even goblins and wolves can be a significant threat, even to established characters. But the thing is, when you use this weapon poison, the first hit is 3 dice damage. The second hit you get through is 2 dice damage. Next one's 1 die damage, and then you got to reapply, and that costs $200 just to do. So unless you got going through a whole bunch of weapon poison at $200 a pop, or 200 silver a pop, you're gonna be making some decisions sometimes. So the Isle of Cedra is really shaping up to be the catalyst of connections for all of David Pulver's work, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how far they go with it. Also, the only thing I would say about Monster Hunter Belladonna is the fact that, I know you're going to be chomping at the bit to share this with your friends, and yeah, you're going to be able to sink your teeth into it right away by playing it solo. But the thing is, it's so good with those connections, you might actually have to wait till you play Dragon Hunt, Iron Skull Castle, and Vampire Hunter Belladonna before you even get to that, so you can enjoy the payoffs that are there. But definitely, guys, jump off the fence, get the Isle of Cedra, and don't forget the links down below for Shamat and Demorte, those utilities by Shadekeep for the fantasy trip. And of course, the Kingdom of Azadmir from Columbia Games is coming out soon. Get notified on the Kickstarter. Of course, all these links are down below. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next video.